Good evening and welcome to TFN. My name is Moti Sengo. This is News Review coming to you live from our Platinum studio in Kirba Avenue, and we are live across all our social media platforms. Let's take a look at the stories making headlines. Police fire tear gas and arrest some militants of APRC No to Alliance movement. Pasini Baji alias Obama assaulted by APRC No to Alliance movement. PDIS unveil party strategic plan to eradicate poverty, injustice and ignorance. And my guest tonight is Lamin Tamba. Thank you once again for joining us. Now we begin this bulletin with the newspaper review. And I have with me The Point and the Standard newspaper. The Standard newspaper is reporting that Battle Hadil Highway now to be 3-lane dual carriage. 3 more people died from Bilal boarding school fire. 5,000 home tough city launched. Jammeh speaks to supporters. 127 Gambians evacuated from Libya. Landmine kills 6 near Casamance border, and of course the lead story on the Standard newspaper is reporting that lawyer tells new APRC executive to call Congress to make them legitimate. Lawyer tells new APRC executive to call Congress to make them legitimate. On Friday, 15th October, APRC Supreme Leader Yahya Jammeh made a public declaration citing the executive committee of the party and naming an interim committee. The members of the dismissed committee said Jammeh has no power to do so, and on Thursday, 21st October, they announced the removal from their committee 3 members who were named in the new committee. There is a tug of war in the APRC, and 10 days since Jammeh's declaration, the new committee has been unable to wrest control of the party from the committee led by Fabakary Tombong Jatta. The Electoral Commission has also said it does not recognize the new committee. The Standard newspaper has learned that in a bid to normalize their status, the members have sought legal advice. Although we cannot confirm who prepared the brief, the Standard newspaper is privy to its content. Landmine kills 6 near Casamance border. 6 young people were killed when the horse-drawn vehicle hit an old landmine unearthed by rain in Senegal's southern Casamance region. Casamance is home to one of Africa's oldest ongoing conflict, which has claimed thousands of lives since 1982, and the mine was believed to be a remnant from early fighting. 3 more Bilal boarding school people died. A week after a tragic fire accident at Bilal boarding school for chronic memorization in Unum claimed the life of 6 people, an additional 3 have died in Senegal over the weekend. Speaking to the Standard newspaper on the latest development, Esa Mohamed Jawara, the proprietor of the school, confirmed that the 3 were evacuated to Senegal for treatment, succumbed to their burns, died, and their remains were interred yesterday. He said another people is receiving a treatment in Senegal and 2 others in the hospital in the Gambia and are responding to well treatment. And the Point newspaper is reporting that first storage flight arrives with 206 passengers. FPAC cut over $77 million from 22 budget estimate. Barrow, Sal and Embalo inaugurates over $700 million joint OMVG project. First storage flight arrived with 136 passengers following a 2-year tourism suspension globally as a result of COVID-19. Tourism in the Gambia has now started as the country receives its first tourist flight for the 2021-2022 winter season on Friday. The Gambia experienced being the first flight from the UK on board 136 passengers. Barrow, Sal and Ambalo inaugurates over $700 million joint OMVG project. President Barrow, with his counterparts President Macky Sall of Senegal and President of Guinea-Bissau, over the weekend inaugurated over $700 million the Gambia River Development Organization (OMVG) substation to solve electricity constraints of the Gambia, Senegal and Guinea-Bissau. Speaking at the commissioning ceremony, President Barrow explained that the project has an international character and attracts the kind of interest of the Gambia, Senegal, Guinea-Bissau and West Africa sub-region. We go with a short break and we'll be right back. As hundreds of supporters of No to APRC NPP Alliance movement planned their first ever press conference early today at Lamin village, the police fired tear gas to the supporters and arrested some members. Doubt about the hazards of the story.
Hundreds of the No to APRC NPP Alliance movement, which is headed by the former President Yahya Jammeh, who left this country for Equatorial Guinea on exile, planned their press conference earlier this morning at Lamin village. However, the press conference that was planned to be held at Jerendin Sanyang's residence in Lamin earlier today was cancelled. Jerendin, who is the organizer of the press conference, was arrested with some other supporters of the No to APRC NPP Alliance earlier this morning and taken to the Banjulindin police station. The supporters of the former ruling party earlier today converged at the Banjulindin police station and expressed their disappointment toward the police for arresting some of their supporters.
We want to stage a press conference, which they want to deny us, which they actually did. They deny us a press conference, requesting for a permit.
So they asked you to. You were told that you should have a permit before staging the press conference.
This is what they say, and we cannot. I don't see that any law anywhere else in the world where you need a permit to stage something. It's just like you're having a naming ceremony at your house. You cannot use a BSc.
There are reasons behind this?
Well, there are obviously reasons which they are trying to politicize our servicemen, which really they should desist from. But then, legal action will be taken.
Speaking to the Fatu Network, Senabu Jammeh, a member of the No to Alliance movement, says he was shocked when the police started arresting and firing tear gas to their supporters. She also confirmed to the Fatu Network that some of the members were arrested while others sustained serious injuries after the police fired tear gas.
Police ñu laajte ñu ne Jere amul right pour mu def meeting ci kërëm waaye Jere lu mu leen tontu mu ne deful meeting conférence la def waaw loolu moo tax ñu ñëw téye ko
waaw léegi ndax dañ am ñu arrêté wala
yóbbu nañu ko de
moom Jere ci xam la gay yóbbu
ñaar lañu yóbbu dégg na ñu ne keneen ki naka la sa prof baaji am na ñu sandi tiagas waaye am na ko xam ne lakk na ci tànka bi.
As the APRC No to Alliance movement continues their protest, they call on the police to remain impartial while exercising their duties. The supporters describe the arresting and firing of tear gas as unfortunate and embarrassing to the entire nation. The No to Alliance movement members told the Fatu Network that their rights to freedom of expression and assembly has been violated.
Li xew tey dafa doy waaru te mu nekk loo xam ne dafa ruusloo Gambia, the whole Gambians, because lala as a serviceman ñu duggal la ci loo xam ne yow mi sa bopp da ngay jalgati loi bi nga dem jalgati ko lii dafa doy waaru bi mooy second time ñu ko def Jerending, because first time bu ñoo dem suñu rally in Kanilai Jerending fii lañ ko stop ci Banjulindin police station bu affaire bi tàngee ci lañ ko wax ne ñoom Rambo ñoo leen wax ne pour ñu stop ko bu mu dem Kanilai ban right lañu am tey encore ci conférence press conférence bi ñu defaat ko press conférence boo xam ne yaa ngi koo def sa kër ban permit ban loi moo musa toog ne soo waree def press conférence sa kër war nga am permit loi boobu amut ci Gambia.
Gambian government dañu war a def bàyyi seen xel bu baax because pa yu màgget yi like Fabakary Tombong Jatta mu ñu trouble dëkk bi pour xale yi di reyante ñoom nen xam nga ne is already dead man walking is dead already so bu leen di nangu Fabakary Tombong Jatta these people ñu ñëw ni rey dëkk bi for nothing si ek xale yi la better things nañu release Jere Sanyang pour peace mën a am si biir dëkk bi.
Sheikh Tijan Haidara, the leader of the Gambia Alliance for National Unity, GANO, called for calm as they are engaging the authorities to solve the matter. The former Justice Minister under the APRC regime, who formed alliance with the APRC a couple of weeks ago, called for peace and stability.
Police have no right, they have no authority, they have no powers to go to Jerending's house and disperse the press conference because there is no law that says that they have to obtain a permit before they can conduct the press conference. So they went there, dispersed it, and then arrested him, and even threw tear gas to the people. But now, what we need is calm head. If somebody is trying to provoke you, we are in election time. Very soon we are going to go to the polls. So what we have to do, we have to be very, 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 very careful. Okay? If I am your leader, okay? If I am your leader, whatever I advise you, I think you should take. I will make sure I will secure the release of Jeremy because he was arrested illegally, and the police should not have intervened. They should not have interfered. But the police have, they have abused their powers. They cannot come to the compound of Jeremy Sanyang and arresting. But your presence here today, like this, they can turn it anyhow. I know you have every right. We are all angry. I am angry. All the supporters and sympathizers of GANU APRC are angry. But let us do it in a way that will not put this country into flames. Please, please. So for that reason, I'm asking that you all disperse. I will go and discuss with the commissioner, and then we'll discuss with the IGP, and Jeremy will be released.
The former ruling party has now been divided into two groups, one which is headed by Honorable Fabakary Tombong Jatta, and the other group which is headed by former President Yahya Jammeh, who is currently on exile in Equatorial Guinea. The supporters of the Enoto Alliance movement call for the unconditional release of Jeremy Sanyang from the police. However, the police continue firing the tear gas at the supporters until the crowd disappear. Reporting for the Fatu Network, I am Dauda Balde.
Paseni Baji, alias Obama, a member of APRC, was assaulted earlier today by the supporters of APRC Noto Alliance in Banjulinding. More in this report.
Is Obama there in the vehicle, the NPP militant, and the APRC supporters are here trying to hit him and trying to say they are going to remove the stickers on the vehicle. Well, some of them are saying no, some are saying they're insisting that they are going to stop the vehicle and remove the stickers there. That's the NPP, and some of them are hitting him right now. They're hitting him right now. That's the NPP, the APRC militants. Mbali ko ma yede nyamen doron ñing ko hanan NPP le am NPP alliance wo ñing melni mbaro be ñu ko kiri fenti ko be wala li passé right now. Gusta gas mo mic.
I'm now joined by Mr. Lamin Tamba. Good evening, Mr. Tamba.
Hi, good evening, Mati. How are you? Thank you. No problem at all. I'm glad to be program. Thank you very much for inviting us and to the Fatu Network Media. Thank you very much.
We have now been divided into two. Earlier today, we have seen the APRC Noto Alliance have been denied a permit to stage a press conference. What's your take on this?
Well, the APRC is not divided into two. The APRC is one. There's a small group of APRC supporters who decided that they were going to go to NPP. Now, evidently, before everyone in the Gambia, we all know where the majority of APRC supporters are. Now, today, we held a press conference to shed light on the dismissals of the former APRC National Executive Committee of Fabakary Tombong Jatta. They were legally removed, and their removal at 20:08 p.m. on the 15th of October 2021 is legal and it's in accordance with the APRC Constitution. The APRC Constitution, as it stands, as of Congress, last Congress that was held in February, is not an executive, doesn't have an executive where people have to vote members into office. Members of the executive are appointed by the party leader of the APRC into various positions. And therefore, if the party leader appoints them into various positions, the party leader can dismiss them. In 2018, the same executive who are now fighting to hold on to APRC voted for President Jammeh to be party leader, supreme party leader, and the flag bearer of APRC until 2026 elections. They voted for that. And they retained those Congress resolutions. This year's Congress 2021, there was no leadership of a flag bearer vote. There was no vote of a party leader at Congress 2021. I've gone through all the media coverage of Congress 2021 between 19th and 21st of February 2021. There was no mention of any vacancy to replace President Jammeh. There was no vacancy of the party leader, the supreme party leader, and the flag bearer of APRC. So therefore, any change that took place subsequently, and that change resulted in the imposition of Fabakary Tombong Jatta as the party leader, would be illegal because Congress didn't vote for him. In fact, Fabakary Tombong Jatta is part of the people who voted for Jammeh as the party leader, supreme party leader, and flag bearer. So therefore, in accordance with the APRC Constitution, Jammeh can hire and fire. And Jammeh has done this 2 times before. And the same executive that he just dismissed were happy with that. There was no push and pull. When he dismissed Emeba and Bujaju and others, they were happy, Fabakary Tombong Jatta and co. When he dismissed Suleiman Singol Nyasi, Kitum Jaju, Nabu Taho, Lamin Tamba and others, the outgoing executive were happy. So therefore, we were calling a press conference today to shed light on what the APRC Constitution stated. As far as we are concerned, Fabakary Tombong Jatta and his executive are no longer the leaders of APRC. They can go to NPP. We don't have problems with that. We said democratically, if they want to defect and go to NPP, fine. Why are they fighting to hold on to Yaja, a party that Yaja is the leader of? Why? You don't want to be APRC anymore. You want to go to NPP. Go to NPP. The majority of APRC supporters are still following President Jammeh, and we've seen that. Rally in Kanilai, rally in Gunjur, and we were just about to have a rally in Banjul yesterday. The police cancelled it. We were going to have a rally at the buffer zone on Friday. The police cancelled. So today's press conference was to shed light on all of these in a private property, without any public obstruction, without any public address system. The police turned up and said they were going to break the APRC press conference, and they have absolutely no right to do so. And
make a follow-up to did you guys make a follow-up to know why the reason why they stopped you guys from having the press conference?
The first officers they sent, I don't know if they were well informed or not. The reasons they told us for breaking up the press conference was that we didn't have a permit. So that's rule number 1. That's wrong, because we were on private property. We can invite BBC if we want to get in Sanyang's bedroom if he wants. All right? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that in law. Now, the second reason they gave once they found out that the permit wasn't working was that we were using APRC name. We are APRC supporters. We are not dismissed from the APRC. If Gano had a separate press conference, they're using the APRC logo and APRC colors. That's breach of intellectual property. I know that for a fact. But if APRC supporters, any chat group in the APRC can have a fundraising, they can call their own press conference. The student wing of APRC just tried to call a failed press conference. The student wing of the APRC went to Fonyi on Friday and Saturday, or Saturday and Sunday, one of them. Right? I created that student wing, so I know how it's created. So they didn't need a permit to do it. Do you understand? They can call any activity. They can wear APRC t-shirts. They can use the APRC logo, no problems. How come one pressure group appointed, actually that's a new executive of the APRC, all right? One day, if I have the opportunity, I'll go through that. And in that new executive of the APRC, something nobody outside knew yet, until today, this press conference was supposed to show and inform the world that this is the new executive of the APRC. In that executive, I'll be the international media spokesman and communications officer globally. All right? But the press conference today was supposed to inform Gambians and the world that that was the case. The police came and broke that press conference, and they have absolutely no right to go into private property. These people were complaining about Barrow, MPP people who are former UDP and other parties were complaining about President Jammeh and suppression of media. President Jammeh never, throughout his 22 years, sent the forces, police forces or army, to go and break up a press conference in the Republic of the Gambia. As long as any conference or meeting was taking place on private property, they didn't send people press conference where the media was. I don't know about political party meetings, but definitely not the press conference. This is the first time it's happening. So therefore, the police have wronged us. They need to apologize to the APRC party. There's only one APRC, and that's the one that's led by President Jammeh. The others can go and join Barrow. If they're not happy with Jammeh anymore, they can go and join Barrow. Emeba left and went to UDP and then to NPP and then came back to the No Alliance movement. Other people left and went to UDP or NPP. Let Fabakary Tombong Jatta and his people go to Barrow. They cannot use the APRC to go and empower Barrow. That's what we're fighting against. And we think APRC has got a great feature to level the playing field in Gambian politics. And that's what we're interested in.
Okay, what's the stand of the No Alliance APRC regarding the members that have been arrested today?
Well, our position is they committed no offense. Jerendin Sanyang called a press conference in his property, his own private home. So our position is we have absolutely nothing to fight against here. The police have absolutely no case against Jerendin Sanyang. What they're doing is intimidation, is harassment, and they assaulted some of our members. And again, I said this in 2017, and this is going to change when APRC comes to government. Just because the police have been given an order to go and arrest somebody, doesn't mean as soon as they set their eyes on somebody, they should start flogging them, they should start kicking them, they should start doing those sorts of things. You only do that if the person is violent or armed or similar. Even if the person is aggressive, you have 6, 7, 8 police officers, you take reasonable force to restrain that person. You just don't go to Prof. Baji or Jerendin Sanyang or Esamai or somebody else and start kicking them. It shouldn't work like, oh, Pa Modumbo. You just don't go because they said go and arrest Pa Modumbo. You start kicking them. Pa Modumbo is obedient. If you say to him, the law wants to talk to you and we want you at Banjul police station, Pa Modumbo is not going to fight it. Jerendin Sanyang is not going to fight it. Prof. Baji is not going to fight it. Esamai is not going to fight it. We cannot condone the assault on our members, and we cannot condone the assault on Obama. Unfortunately, Obama is at the wrong place, wrong time. There's rumor that he came from Fabakary Tombong Jatta's team to go and spy. But if you know that, just block the view that he can have to whatever you're going to do. You cannot go and assault people. So whether it's Obama, whether it's Prof, whether it's Jerendin Sanyang, whether it's Esamai, or Pa Modumbo, or anyone else who was at that press conference, the police had no right to assault them. The public had no right to assault Obama. And that's our position. So therefore, Jerendin Sanyang has no case to answer.
We've also heard Fabakary Tombong Jatta saying that initially Yahya Jammeh agreed on the alliance with NPP, but then later changed his mind because he's been misled by some people. What do you have to say about that?
Well, no, I disagree with Fabakary Tombong Jatta. Fabakary Tombong Jatta was just saving face. If I were him, by now I'll not be having pull with the No Alliance movement. The No Alliance movement is now the full APRC in alliance with Gano. So we still use the No Alliance movement, but we're officially now, after the 15th of October 2021, APRC Gano Alliance. So Fabakary Tombong Jatta, what he said is inaccurate, or even if it's true, let's suppose what he said is true. We have seen international negotiations take place across the world. United States fell out on Kyoto Protocol and so many environmental treaties. You can have talks until the last minute. One party does not play their side of the bargain. They do not fulfill the requirements, and then you pull out. We've seen Israel and Palestine. We've seen talks in Syria. We've seen talks between Colombian government and the rebels. We've seen talks everywhere in the world. If one party does not fulfill the preconditions, you pull out. Barrow has not fulfilled 15% of the preconditions that the APRC executive put before him. Key among those is Jammeh's return before election. Barrow refused to fulfill it. Barrow refused to reinstate APRC supporters, members that they sacked in 2017, 2018, 2019, the security forces and civil forces. Barrow refused to remove the forces in Jammeh's compound, Kanilai and Fonyi. Barrow refused to investigate the death of Haruna Jatta and many other preconditions they put before him. He only fulfilled about 10, 15% at most, which is he gave some money to the executive and he gave some vehicles to the executive, and that was it. So why then would President Jammeh continue? But I know for a fact, since December last year, President Jammeh told them to abandon this alliance talk. They refused. And that's the time President Jammeh cut them. And they admit that they didn't talk to President Jammeh since December 2020. So how do you know President Jammeh was blessing everything that they were doing? They said it. Fabakary himself said in the last press conference that he hasn't spoken to Jammeh for over 6 months. I know 26th of December 2020 was the last time these people had any meaningful conversation with Jammeh. He cut their alliance completely because he told them not to do it publicly. He told them not to do it privately several times. They still went ahead. So therefore, they have nothing to complain about. And what Jammeh did is legal. The Independent Electoral Commission should update their records. And today, we were supposed to make that effective. The police and the Justice Ministry should update their records. And that's what we wanted to make official today. Unfortunately, the police are being used to politicize this whole issue. And whether they like it or not, this will galvanize us. It'll make us stronger. It'll make us more determined to kick Barrow out on the 4th of December 2021. And we're ready for that.
Mr. Tamba, Fabakary also said that you guys shouldn't use the APRC logo since you're not more APRC or Alliance no to the NPP coalition.
APRC has a constitution again. None of us has been expelled from the APRC. It's a bit like being a Gambia high school student and the principal says, oh, the government or whoever the governors of Gambia High School are, if they dismiss the principal and a few staff, suddenly you tell the students, do not use Gambia High School uniform because we've been dismissed. We're going to go to St. Augustine's now. All right. So therefore, we're going to take Gambia High School logo. We're going to take Gambia High School's identity, the emblems and everything to St. Augustine's. All right. Because we've been dismissed. We're moving on with our stuff. No, you've been dismissed. You hand over the reins of the party. You cannot hold on to power when you know you've been clearly removed from your position. Fabakary Tombong Jatta's position was interim party leader. It wasn't a constitutional position. It was a ceremonial position. He was given that. In our local languages, what they say, ya karafale, denko denkane. Interim always means temporary. All right? It always means temporary until something happens. So he was holding on to that position until the party leader, although Jammeh says supreme party leader, let's suppose Fabakary Tombong Jatta's role is constitutional. So you have a supreme party leader and you have an interim party leader. Therefore, the supreme is still most superior to the interim. What the supreme party leader does is that, but Jammeh, it didn't just say Jammeh was the supreme party leader. It said Jammeh is the party leader, the supreme party leader, and the flag bearer. They're omitting the party leader bit. And I have the resolutions. I shared them on my Facebook wall several times so people can see them. 5 Gambian media houses published their resolutions. All right? This is not me making it up. It's there until 2026. So if they didn't conduct an election in Congress 2021 for the party leader, supreme party leader, and flag bearer, the incumbent continues because they already voted for Jammeh until 2026. Therefore, if I had any shame after being caught in public by Jammeh, and after being exposed at the Sukuta rally by Barrow, Fabakary Tombong Jatta and his men have absolutely nothing to cling on to. What they're doing now, because they're good friends with Barrow, they're using the political machinery to influence the police to harass us, to assault our members, and that must cease immediately. They must desist from this sort of politics. We want to change Gambia. We want Gambian people to make informed decisions and give us a robust government that will change our livelihoods. Barrow is not that option. Barrow is not even in the top 5 option, and this is why we want him removed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tamba, for speaking to the Fatty Network.
Thank you very much, Martin. Thank you. Fatty Network, again, I appreciate the airtime you've given me. This is the position, the legal position of the APRC wranglings, and I hopefully will sort this out without any more silly things like what happened today. Thank you.
Now, PDOIS held a press conference to eradicate poverty, injustice and ignorance. Honorable Sala added PDOIS is calling for system change because Gambia is a rich country and has abundant natural resources. More in this report. PDOIS Standard Bearer Halifa Sallah in a press conference highlighted on how the party intends to eradicate poverty, injustice and ignorance.
Our campaign to eradicate poverty, injustice and ignorance is not simply an ideal. It is a demand of time and circumstances. It is therefore significant to update you on the prospects that exist regarding the answering to this call of destiny, not only by our candidate, but by all the custodians of the political process.
Honorable Salah added the Barrow government has done its best, but it's not enough to eradicate poverty, ignorance and injustice.
I must say that the Barrow administration has done its best. Our position is that its best is not enough to eradicate the poverty, the ignorance, and the injustice that had been inherited from the past and will continue to exist irrespective of goodwill.
He added that the country depends entirely on grants and taxation.
The country is entirely dependent on taxation and grants. So this grant, tax, and debt-based economy is not sustainable and cannot eradicate the poverty of our people. And this is why DOI is calling for system change, the transformation of that base, because Gambia is a rich country. We have abundant natural resources, arable land of 550,000 hectares. They're only cultivating about 327,000. We can produce all the rice we need to consume, and it is measured about 200,000 tons. We're producing only about 57,000 tons. We have a national development plan, but you do not see anything being said how that national development plan, short-term, medium-term, long-term, could lead us to food self-sufficiency.
He added that PDOIS is calling for system change because Gambia is a rich country. TFN News Review, Mati Senghor. PDOIS Standard Bearer Halifa Sallah in a press conference highlighted on how the party...
South Africa Global brings you exquisite yet affordable state-of-the-art commercial rental spaces available at Madiba Mall, located at Brewfoot Gardens Estate. These commercial spaces comes with facilities such as 24-hour security, standby backup generator, air-conditioned spaces, conference room, and personal cash power meters. If you are looking for a spacious and suitable business environment, look no further. Madiba Mall retail and commercial spaces are just what you need. Call us today and reserve a space. For more information, please call 733-3363 or 594-1053, or you can send an email to info@toughafricaglobal.com.
That's it for today's news review. Till we come your way tomorrow, thank you for joining us and do have a good evening.